Hello guys, and welcome to my channel where we cover the hottest play to earn games. In this first episode we'll be covering Lost Relics, which is an ARPG where you adventure yourself into randomly generated dungeons filled with traps and monsters to find rare loot. In this game, unlike other games of the same genre, your character doesn't get any stat or skill points. Instead, how strong your character is depends entirely on its gear. So let's actually play the game and see what Lost Relics has to offer. Here we go, dudes, officially inside Lost Relics. And let's start with what matters the most, which is the combat. For that, we are in the city and we have to go to Adventure Pass. So Adventure Pass is where all the available adventures are. So we have a total of 8 adventures and 3 of them they're locked, and that's because I don't have a power pendant. So a power pendant is like the membership of the game, but I'm going to cover that later. For now, let's just go to an easy adventure, Ash Shoots, which is perfect for me to show you guys the game mechanics. So let's start. Let's see what are the possibilities when it comes to gearing up our character. So we have multiple slots. The first slot is for a melee weapon. The second slot is for a ranged weapon. The third slot is for the pet. So in every adventure there's boxes, crates and statues that can be broken and that have loot inside. So what the pet does is it goes around, breaks these and gets this loot for you, so you don't have to worry about this task yourself. Also, in every adventure you can gather from the surrounding environment. At the moment we are in a forest-like adventure, so for sure there's going to be trees to chop down and get wood for my character. And that's what the fourth slot is for a gathering tool. Then we have the minimap, and then we have 5 relic slots. What the relics do is, they aid your character during the adventure. Every relic has its own use case, but I have 3 relics that recover both my health and my energy. So this is health. If it goes to 0, you die and all the items that you've acquired during the adventure and the experience as well will be lost. Then we have the energy. So the energy is used for a special attack. So I am with the blade at the moment, and if I press the left click, you will do a normal attack. But if I do the right click in the mouse, you will do a special attack which does more damage but also consumes some of my energy. And with the bow it is the same thing. Left click, I shoot 1 arrow. And if I do the right click, I will shoot multiple arrows and some of my energy will be consumed. So in every adventure, it is always a good idea to have items that keep both your health and your energy up. Then you have the inventory, so all the items you acquire go here. So enough talking, let's actually kill some monsters and see how the combat feels. So we just started our adventure and there's already a horde of badass monsters trying to kick our ass, trying to grab lunch. So we have some snakes spitting stuff on us, some evil bunnies, some plants. So the first thing you notice when you start playing Lost Relics is that there is a cool diversity of monsters in every adventure. So we have like the plants who poison you, and I must warn you, in this game poison is a pain in the ass. It's completely overpowered. You lose lots of health over time. Then you have the spiders who have the ability to root you. Then there's also the grods. So the grods are monsters that are like golems. So they have high health, but then they're really slow, so you can outrun them. And usually the monsters come in hordes, so they have like all these abilities combined. So there's a good diversity of monsters, each monster with its own strengths, weaknesses and abilities. Besides that, the combat is also fluid and kind of fun, but at the same time it is a bit empty. And it is a bit empty because there are no skills in this game. While in other games you level up and you get skill points to learn new skills and then you shoot fireballs and stuff like that at the monsters, in this game that simply does not exist. So all I am doing to slay these badass monsters is left clicking and right clicking and trying to dodge the stuff that they spit at me. And that's it. It's still a bit basic, which is okay. If you think about it, the game, as you can see, is in early access. So at the moment this is acceptable. So besides slaying all the badass monsters that exist in every adventure and finding a loot chest, you can also gather. So gathering is just another way of acquiring resources for your character. So you have a total of 4 gathering skills, which are fishing, mining, scavenging and woodcutting. And with these skills you get raw materials that later in town are used by one of the 3 professions, which are alchemy, cooking and engineering. And these items then they have their use cases in your adventures. For example, if I gather herbs from scavenging, then I can make potions that recover both my energy and health, and that's just another example. So if you check the mini-map, it's highlighting all the gathering nodes that exist in the map. So I have here a lake to fish, then I have here a tree, which means that there is a tree here to chop down. So you just go here if you have the right tool. So I have here the fishing nets, and well, I didn't get anything, so I was just unlucky. But then I have here a bush. I also brought a gathering tool for scavenging and I also didn't get anything. I guess today isn't my lucky day, dudes. Okay, let's check the tree, if I get any item from the tree. Okay, crossing fingers, and I have an apple. So the apple doesn't need to be processed. I can just consume it as it is and gives me 250 health. Okay, and let's see here if I keep getting lucky. See what I get. And I have pine sap. Well, pine sap now I don't know what it is for. Okay, I don't know every item in the game, but I'm sure it has its use case. So that's gathering. It's a feature, it's a nice feature of the game. And then it's like you get experience every time you gather, as you noticed. So then for example, by fishing, if I fish a lot, I'm gonna get lots of experience in fishing, and I start to catch better fish, you know. For example, in the beginning you just catch fish that recover like 300 health when cooked, you know, but then later when you're like level 30s and stuff like that, then you can gather fish that recover you like 1000 health, you know, and that's a lot. About the graphics of the game, I don't have much to say about it. I think they're well done. This is like max settings, okay, and the game is lagging a bit because I'm recording and at the same time the game is running, okay, so I have a laptop. It's not like the best computer in the market, okay, so it's lagging a bit. So these are max settings, and I can tell that the game is looking good, you know, the game is well polished. It has its semi-cartoonish style, you know. Of course, if you zoom in, okay, it's a bit weird, but the game wasn't made to be played while zoomed in, so it doesn't matter, right? So, as I told you, not much to say about it. It's good. the developer did a good job here. So dudes, we already know that 90% of the time will be spent in adventures, grinding hard and slaying those badass monsters to get some sweet loot out of them. But that's just 90% of the time. The other 10% will be spent in town doing some activities. And these activities are running one of the 3 professions that you have, managing your bounties, which are the quests of the game, or trading in the Royal Emporium, which is the marketplace. Let's start with the professions. In my previous adventures, I gathered some herbs. So I do know that herbs, usually they're linked with alchemy. So if I go to alchemy, to the alchemy tab, I can see that I can do some energy potions with the herbs I gathered. So I just need herbs and vials. And the vials I can get them in the general store. So here we go to buy some vials. We talk with Serafina, and Serafina is really upset today. Look at her face. Ooh. Life is not going well for Serafina, for sure. So I go to, okay, this is all the stuff that Serafina is selling, you know. So if I go to resources, I can buy here some vials. Okay, so I have 5 herbs, get 5 vials, and here we go. We got our stuff. So every profession is linked with a specific station. So in order to do alchemy, I have to go to the alchemy table. Okay, pretty obvious. And we arrived, and my character already did the cardio of the day to stay fit to slay those monsters. So alchemy table shows me all the stuff I can do. I'm only level 5, so I can only do these 3 the 3 first ones. Okay, and I press in create all. Here I go. This experience is alchemy experience. To level up my alchemy, well, obvious. Here I go. 400 energy to keep me up and running in my next adventures. So let's check it out, the bounties. So as you can see, in the corner I have here objectives, and this is about my current bounty. So this is all the stuff I have to do in order to complete it. So in order to manage the bounties, you have to go to the tavern. So let's check this out. Here we go, we're in the tavern, and in the tavern you can talk with Berinon. So Mr. Berinon is the dude of the bounties, and this is the bounty I'm currently doing. It has these requirements. It's pretty straightforward. Okay, it's like deliver these materials, kill these, and mine 42 rocks. Okay, nothing too hard. And then I get some nice rewards, which are a bronze chest. So the bronze chest, there's like items inside and some gold. Then I get the bounty bucks. So the bounty bucks are used to exchange for items. So if I go to this tab, exchange, then I have here some nice rare items. You know, but in order to get them, I have to deliver something in exchange. And one of these requirements are the bounty bucks. Okay, for example, for this amulet of chaos, I need 20,000. Okay, we have to do lots of bounties to get this amount of bounty bucks. And then besides that, I also need to get these materials. Okay, so it's not easy. Then the bounties have different difficulties. So as you go up in difficulty, also the requirements to accomplish it are higher, you know, and the materials are harder to get. Okay, so besides that, in the tavern, you also have your stash. Okay, so that's what you do in the tavern. You manage your bounties and go to your stash. I'm gonna leave here the potions for now. And let's go outside. So that's pretty much it about the content of the game. It's like you have 8 adventures to run. 3 of them are for members only. Then you have the 3 professions in town. You have the bounties, And the bounties, I mean, they're a very recent feature and they're very simple. It's really straightforward. It's like no storyline or nothing. It's just like kill these, gather these, and that's it, okay? But it's okay. Before there wasn't any bounties, now there are, so the game is getting better and better. And then you have the Royal Emporium, which is the market of the game. And it's a simple market, okay? It's just like you sell the stuff you don't need and you buy stuff from other players, okay? Sometimes you have to leave there the items for some time till some player buys it, okay? It's not gonna cover that because it's really simple. And that's it, that's all the available stuff you have in the game at the moment. You guys must be wondering by now, how do you actually make money while playing Lost Relics? Because that's the name of the channel, right? Play to earn gaming. Well, to make money while playing this game, you have to get your hands on blockchain items. So there are two types of items, which are the virtual items like this pickaxe that exist only inside the game and can be traded for gold. And there are the blockchain items or NFTs. So NFT stands for non-fungible token. And what this basically means is that you have true ownership over the item. And you can do whatever you want with it, like selling it to another player. So the flow to earn in this game is very simple. You go into an adventure, you drop a blockchain item or NFT, however you want to call it, and then you transfer it to your Engine wallet because this game is linked with Engine, and you sell it to another player. But in order to transfer the item from inside the game to your Engine wallet, you have to pay transfer crystals. And these crystals, so here you go, gold, bounty bucks, and crystals. These crystals, they can be bought either in the game official website with money, or they can be bought to another player for gold. Because some players want to make easy gold, so they buy these crystals with money and then they sell it inside the game for gold. So that's a flow to earn. You drop the item, you transfer it for a certain amount of transfer crystals to your Engine wallet and you sell it. But there is one big issue with all of this. And this issue is that Engine is on the Ethereum ecosystem. And the Ethereum ecosystem at the moment is completely congested. Okay, so this means that every time that a transaction occurs, it's slow and it has a price, a high price, which are the Ethereum gas fees. So that's what the transfer crystals are. Nothing more, nothing less than Ethereum gas fees. And because the Ethereum ecosystem is congested and the gas fees are high, this means that the amount of transfer crystals that you have to pay for every item to get out of Lost Relics is really high. So this means that, for example, to sell an item that is worth like $20, you have to pay like $18. Okay, so it's not really worth it at the moment, and I must warn you that for the whole process to be worth it, from my opinion, you have to get your hands on a blockchain item that is above Epic, because items have rarities and we're going to cover that in a second. As you can see, this is a virtual item and it's common. Okay, and then my bow and my blade, they're blockchain items and they're rare. So items have rarities. And what I want you guys to be aware of is that you can drop any rarity from any monster. So this means that even if I'm slaying the easiest monsters inside the game, I can drop the highest rarity out of them. Okay, and that's a really cool feature. So we are in Lost Relics official website, and here you can see all the NFTs that exist inside the game. So they go from uncommon to transcendent. So uncommon, if you get one of these, it's not much of a big deal because, for example, check this item, 25,000. Okay, there are so many that it's not rare at all. So maybe you could get like what, $1 out of it if play to earn was working properly, because it isn't. Then it goes up until transcendent. Now, transcendent, it's another story. Because if you get one of these items, geez, it's like getting the lottery. And I like to see the game like this, you know, it's like having fun and at the same time playing in the lottery. Because every time you slay one of those badass monsters, they can drop one of these items. And at the moment, play to earn is blocked. I just checked and it's blocked because the gas prices are so high that the company itself blocked this feature out of the game. Okay, but it's not gonna stay like that forever. So this means that eventually you will be able to take the items out of the game to sell them. But before it was blocked, some players took some items out of the game. So this is OpenSea, it's a website where you sell NFTs. Okay, not just Lost Relics NFTs, you sell NFTs in general. Okay, it's one of the many places where you could eventually, if play to earn was working, sell Lost Relics NFTs. And we still have some items here. For example, check this one. So some player dropped some mythical bow and he's selling it at 2,000 engine. That's $5,000. Okay, so that's the power of play to earn if it works properly. I've already mentioned the membership and the active pendants quite a few times. So let's actually cover that, because there are a few things that you should be aware of, especially if you're a new player. So the active pendants, it's not mandatory that you have it, okay? The game is completely free to play. And the relevant things are the level up rewards, okay? So these ones, they're really good, but it's not much of a big issue if you don't have the pendant, because you can stack up until 10 level up rewards. What does this mean? This means that you can go until level 10 as a free member, and at level 10 you gather some gold and you buy the cheapest pendants and you get all the level up rewards from level 1 to level 10, okay? So in the beginning, not much of a big issue. Then finish adventure with blockchain items. This is relevant, but once again, not really in the beginning. Why? Because you're running fast dungeons that don't have a high volume of monsters. So the chance of dropping even one blockchain item, it's really low, okay? This becomes more relevant when you get geared up and you're like dealing with high volume of monsters and the chances of getting blockchain items increases, okay? So what this means is that if you have 2 blockchain items and you're a free member, you have to leave one inside the dungeon because you can only live with 1 blockchain item. But as I told you, in the beginning, from my perspective, not much of a big deal. Then game world access, limited, but if you have an active pendant, it's full. So we already saw that there's 3 adventures that are premium. But once again, in the beginning, it's not much of a big issue because these membership adventures, they're from difficulty 3 and up. So in order to go to a difficulty 3 adventure, you already need to have some gear, which you don't in the beginning, right? So once again, this is not that relevant. I mean, if you're really into the game and you have lots of money to spend, I mean, buy this because there's lots of benefits out of having it, okay? But I don't think that in the beginning it's worth it. So we just saw Lost Relics play to earn potential, which sadly saying at the moment it's 0 because it's not working. But as we're going to see in the next section, it's not really the developer's fault that the game is as it is. Okay? Now, if you're curious about this industry, this play to earn industry, and you want to know more about games like Lost Relics, do not forget to subscribe to my channel. So let's actually take a look at what the developers have in mind for the future of Lost Relics. So we have new skills. This is very important. As we saw, the combat is a bit repetitive, so we definitely need this. New environments, cool, more dungeons to run. New weapons, new items, that's nice, more diversity. Encounters, well, I don't know what this is. Arena, I do think that it's about PvP, so cool, we're going to have PvP. Housing, bosses, up to 4-player co-op PvE and up to 4-player PvP. Okay, this is very important, and why is this? Because at the moment the game is completely solo. So if I go into the tavern, I'm going to see a few characters running around, but these aren't players, these are just bots, so the game is completely solo at the moment. The only way you have to interact with other players is through the Royal Emporium, which is the marketplace, or through the chat. Okay, so I can come here. Yo! What's up, dudes? Okay, and everyone is going to see that. So this is the moment we start to speculate and we try to foresee where Lost Relics is heading in the next months. So we already know that the game has a few issues, like the combat, which is repetitive as hell. It's always like left click, right click, always the same thing. Then there's not that much content, and the play to earn simply doesn't work. Well, about the combat and the content, I'm completely fine with that because it's early access, so I'm completely fine with that. What you're seeing at the moment is 20% of Lost Relics, okay? So for now it's okay. Now about the play to earn, well, it's not the developer's fault that the Ethereum ecosystem is congested, okay? Every app and every game that is running on Ethereum is having the same issue. Now, on the other hand, wait, I should go here. First, try to get that loot chest. Now, on the other hand, just tell me, guys, which game is combining ARPG with NFTs? Well, there is no game like that, okay? This game is unique, is exclusive. Then you have a developer that is constantly releasing updates. Jeez, that guy is working his ass off to make this game big, and I respect that. It's like every month you have a new update, a new feature coming out, something new to do in the game. Then about the play to earn, there's going to be Infinity. And Infinity is a sidechain in Engine. And what this sidechain is going to accomplish is it's going to make the cost of transactions really low. So that means that instead of paying those $20 to sell the $22 item, you're going to pay only maybe $1 or $2, okay? Or maybe not even that, if they succeed. Then you have a friendly, growing community. You can see here 725 players online. Okay, I know that's nothing, but it's early access, and I can tell you I've been playing the game for a few months, and now more than ever there's like new dudes coming out every day in the chat. Hey, how do I do this? Please help me. I don't know, I'm lost. I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to do that. Every day. So the community is nice and it's growing. Then Lost Relics in 2020 won 2 awards. I'm going to check that in just a bit. So if you dudes come to play-to-earn.online, you can see that Lost Relics is mentioned twice. Blockchain Game of the Year. Third, Lost Relics. Lovely dev people. Here we go, Cliff Colley, the developer. So this is nice for the game to give visibility and to bring new players. Now, I mentioned Infinity, didn't I? So let's check it out. If you guys go to Engine official website, you have an article about it. But this is the relevant part. By opening a game channel with an Infinity network, a game will be able to perform nearly infinite volumes of transactions between millions of players and the game server, at high speeds and nearly no costs. So if this succeeds, what it looks like is it's going to be the salvation of Lost Relics play to earn. Combining all the facts that we already know plus my gaming experience within Lost Relics, I can tell you that this is a good game to play casually. And casually because it's early access and still lacking lots of stuff. So if you play too much, you're gonna end up doing always the same thing, running the same dungeons. So it's a good game to play like after work, you come from work, you're tired, you do 2-3 dungeons to chill, and that's it. Now, from an earning perspective, that's a different story. Because we already saw that with Infinity, there's going to be low transaction costs. So this opens up the potential to earn in the future. So I do recommend that if you're into the game to make money, I do recommend that you start dropping those NFTs now so that when Infinity comes out, you can earn some cash. If you guys have any question, leave a comment with your question down below and I'll answer it. And if you enjoyed my video, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to my channel, because I'm going to keep covering all the good play to earn games out there. So see you guys in the next video and keep slaying those badass monsters.